Hello my loves, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well, having yourselves a good day, and if you're new here, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Ella, I'm 27, almost 28. I'm trying to get ahead of the curveball with this one because it always takes me like 6 months to remember my new age. About to be 28, which is terrifying within itself. I'm nearing my 30s. Which is so scary. I just feel like life is flashing before my very eyes. One of you guys actually commented on a video this morning from 2020, and I don't normally do this because I hate going back and watching my old videos. It's just like so cringe. For some reason I did with this one, and it was actually so wild to me. 4 years doesn't sound like a long time, but there has been so much change and so much growth in such a short amount of time. In the video I was saying my boyfriend, who's now my husband, like I've been engaged, married, we were living in our first apartment, our tiny little seaside apartment. I was unemployed at the time. I'm now working for myself, which is crazy in and of itself. Like I never would have imagined that. In that video I was talking about how we couldn't have pets, and now I've got my own dog. I think it's really easy when you're kind of just going through the motions day by day to forget about where you've come from. And what was the quote that I saw? It came up on my Pinterest and it just felt like it was meant to be. It really just encompassed everything. A little progress each day adds up to big results. And it's so true. This time 4 years ago I was in a very, very different place, and so I think it's really easy to come online, see people achieving these incredible things, all well and good, love that for them. If you're not in that right now, or you feel like you're not in it right now, I know what that's like. I've been there. I promise you it will get better. Don't compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 12. Like it's just, we're all on different trajectories. Everyone is in their own different journey. Everyone has their own different struggles. That was like the perfect reminder that yeah, life does get better. I've had quite an up and down last 4 years, but I feel like this year, and especially in the last 6 months, I feel like I've really come into my own. I'm living my dream life right now. Anyway, that's not the point of this video. Today is going to be a good old money chat, very casual, sitting on my bedroom floor kind of energy. I've got my laptop pulled up here. We're going to check in on our budget and see how we're tracking for the month. There's quite a few things that I need to update, a few expenses that have popped up, some extra income that's come through, and just some rejigging that I need to do with my budget. I'm also about to embark on a 3-week trip, so I won't be home. I mean, I'll still be updating my budget because I'm literally addicted to it. It's part of my daily routine at this point, but I won't be actively documenting that, and I probably won't have a November budget up, which is probably the first time ever, maybe. Or if I do, it'll be halfway through November, because that's when I get back from my trip. So I thought now was a good time to check in on our finances, have a look at our money goals and see how we're going with those. And I also wanted to touch on sharing finances because there's a big question I get a lot. I've maybe talked about it a couple years ago, but it's been a while. So really just a nice money chat with friends, me and you. To kick things off, I thought I'd talk about our best and worst purchase so far this month. The month is still young, so like this might change. I actually don't really have a worst purchase, if I'm being honest, which is such an annoying answer. I think overall just our eating out consumption yet again. We're not over budget yet, but we're getting pretty close, and we're only halfway through the month. I do leave for my trip, which all of that will be like travel money, and Nick and I definitely spend a lot less when we're not together. I just think that's like how it is in a relationship. So maybe this one will turn around by the end of this month, who knows. Then for our best purchase, if you watched my last vlog you would already know, but we invested in an outdoor set finally. We were gonna do this last month, thought that we weren't gonna do it this month. It wasn't originally part of the budget, but I'm so happy with our outdoor set. It's comfortable, it's cute, it's functional, it looks so nice in the space. And it just feels so nice to have like a proper outdoor area, especially with the lead up to summer. The weather's starting to warm up. We had our first like 26-degree day yesterday, and yeah, it's just so nice to be able to sit out there with our coffee, with a book, glass of wine, have our friends over. Like I just can't wait to entertain and socialize and just have a nice outdoor space. It really makes a world of difference. It feels like a whole other room almost. And I would love to, this is like long term, but I would love to eventually get some outdoor blinds so we can really enclose it in. And it was actually kind of a money win, if I'm being honest. Outdoor sets are ridiculously expensive. I could not find one for less than $1,500. The one we ended up buying was $2,600, I believe, or $2,700 with delivery. There was some that I was looking at that were $1,200 for a single armchair. Beautiful, don't get me wrong, beautiful, great quality, stunning. I personally, I just can't justify that. It just doesn't align with my money values. I'd rather put that money elsewhere. So we kind of found a nice middle range one. The regular retail price was also $3,600 and we got it for $2,600. So that's $1,000 off. Big thanks to my dad for helping us set that up. My dad is literally my resident handyman because neither Nick or I are particularly handy. We don't mind getting our hands dirty, but we're not like DIYers, minimal tools around here, like nothing crazy. We can put a piece of furniture together, but that's about it. It's so funny. I always imagined myself, I think because my dad is just like handy, like always has been handy. He's a mechanic by trade. I always imagined that's what my future husband would be like. And Nick is the complete opposite. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Nick can write a mean letter, a mean letter. He's so well spoken, so eloquent. His vocabulary is insane. He is not the most handy man though. He'll be the first to say it. It's so funny. I just always assumed that's what I would end up with, but here we are. Everything happens for a reason. Wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, anyway, let's go through, update this budget because it's like stressing me out right now. I'm seeing a lot of red and it's unnecessary red. Okay, we've come up on all fours. All fours? I've got a dead leg, guys. We're gonna have to do it like this. All right, let's update. Am I screen recording? I'm not. Amateur move, Ella, amateur move. I still can't get over that video. I just cannot stop thinking about that video from 4 years ago. I really need to go back and watch more old vlogs. I just know how proud 2020 version of me would be to see me right now. Oh, it makes me emotional. Anyway, I'm gonna press screen record. This is how I marry up my clips post-editing. I do a little clap and that way I know to sync it up. Anyway, nobody cares. Let's update this budget and do a bit of a check-in. So income-wise, all on track. I'm actually gonna update my business income. I still have a couple more payments coming through, so I know this is gonna be closer to 10,500. I have a few consistent sources of income like YouTube AdSense, any money that I make from affiliate links. Those are consistent in the sense that they come through at the same time every month, not really in the amount, but I know I'm gonna get something. And then any brand work, any sponsorships are so variable. There's busier seasons, slower seasons, depends on the payment terms, and then when those payments are actually made is so variable, so it's really up in the air. But I do know now that we're a couple months into October, it should be closer to $10,500. Which is super exciting. For bills, we've put $902 into our bills account so far, so we just have these last 3 things to transfer over when we get paid next. We currently have $183.64 left to spend. Not that it really matters because we put everything on a credit card now and just pay it off at the end of the month, but it's good to see it's under. We're on track with everything. We're not spending more money than we're making. Subscriptions, everything has pretty much come out, just waiting on our Netflix subscription. Then for our variable expenses, this is what I want to update. Groceries were already $10 over. Obviously it's going to be a lot less because I'm not here for some of it, but we definitely need to increase that. You know why? It's because it's a 5-week kind of month. We go grocery shopping every Monday usually, but the first Monday was a public holiday, so we went on Tuesday, which fell on the 1st of October. So I'm actually going to increase this to $6.50. I feel like that's a lot more reasonable, which I never would have done this a year ago. Like I was so rigid when it came to my budget. I was like, stick to the spreadsheet. Now like life happens, you know, we can pivot. We're allowed to pivot. Petrol is fine. Home, I only budgeted $400 because we weren't expecting to buy the outdoor set. So I'm going to change this to $3,000 to include that. Cool. Health, I budgeted $330. That was for my Pilates class. I've spent $330 so far. Social and coffee is fine. We're actually doing pretty well with our coffee consumption. Eating out, I'm going to change to $250 just to give us no. Let's keep it real. $250 is fine for 2 people. Date night, we were a little bit over, but that's fine. Mabel, we've already spent $358.59 so far this month. I'm actually gonna have to update this too. You know why? We've got another vet appointment. Let's do $600. To be conservative, I'm hoping it's less than that, but poor Dal has been hit with an ear infection, super common with Cocker Spaniels. We have a follow-up appointment. I'm really hoping that she's all good to go. She seems a lot better, back to her old self, but we'll still have to pay for the consultation, which the vets are so expensive. I love the vet that we go to though. They're so lovely, and it's the vet that we've always gone to, all our family dogs since we moved here. Entertainment's fine. Gifts, so we spent $254 so far this month. I'm gonna have to increase this as well, just to be realistic. It's such a fine line though between being realistic and also being too lenient. Do you know what I mean? But I know that we're gonna spend more than this. So like while I'm at it and I'm updating everything and we have that increase in income, I may as well make it realistic. The only reason I know we're gonna go over budget with this one is because Nick asked for $500 for gifts for me for my birthday, and we've already spent $254 on other people. That was for my sister. I also did some Christmas shopping just because I wanted to take advantage of some sales, and our friends also got engaged, so we sent them flowers as well. So I'm gonna change this to $750 just to keep it realistic, or I guess $775. We haven't spent any money on books, $15 on alcohol so far this month. Takeaway is fine. We're sticking to the weekly takeaways at the moment. Rideshare, we spent $17.53 so far. Nothing on Metro. Clothing, I budgeted $400. We spent $484. It's whatever, you know. I got some new shoes, a couple things for my trip. It's all G. Beauty, we're on par with. Miscellaneous, also over. Like, what is that? Miscellaneous. Oh, most of that's cricket stuff. That's like Nick's extracurricular activity. He's been investing in his business. And then travel, we've only spent $52.37 on a couple of bits from Amazon. Savings wise, I haven't saved a single cent yet, but most of my income comes through the second half of every month. So that's fine, we'll get there. And mortgage, we've paid for our build so far, which is $1,840. We have a split loan and the first payment always comes out the first half and then the second one in the second half of every month. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, you know what I am going to update? Beauty. I do have a hair appointment. I completely forgot that I was going to book this, so we're going to change this to $150 because I think it's about $100, I want to say. I rarely get my hair done. When I do, it's just a cut and style. I don't really have any other beauty appointments. I do my own eyebrows, as you can tell. I am allergic to pretty much every nail thing ever. I've tried acrylic, I've tried gel. The only thing I'm okay with is just regular nail polish, but like I can't really be bothered. It just chips so easily. And I can't get my lashes done because I'm deathly allergic. Cool, so that has been updated. Our new budgeted total for variable expenses will be $8,180. I'm really hoping we can keep it under that. And so far this month we've spent $5,667.40. Yikes. I mean, most of that is on home stuff. And groceries, like I can't believe we've already spent $510. I mean, we have been trying to eat out less and order less takeaway, and we've been having a lot of meat dishes. We did also try Marley's spoon, which I really enjoyed. I just don't think we made the most of it. We're a little unprepared with the rest of our shopping, and so I feel like we spent what we would normally spend, plus we got Marley's spoon, which is like not really the idea of it. So I'd like to do that again, but be a little bit more proactive about it. I'm gonna add another savings category called home fund. After this trip I'm about to go on, we're really gonna be hunkering down and making this house a home. There's been so many things that we keep talking about doing, and we need to actually set money aside so we don't go over budget like we have here, and we can pull from that savings when we're ready to do those projects. For example, outdoor blinds, would love to do that. Would love to get solar eventually, especially living in Australia. Super beneficial. We really need to fit out our wardrobes. At the moment we have no shelving and no drawers. We've just been trying to work with a single rail, and it's getting to the point where it's annoying. I'm over it. That's like our next little project, I think. Also working on the garden. Yeah, we're definitely not done with this space, and I want to be more proactive about actually setting money aside in our savings, not feeling guilty for spending a lot of money, and being able to pull from that savings when we want to. So I'm gonna add that for future, just so we don't run into the same troubles we've run into this month by completely blowing the budget with a $2,500 purchase. Okay, now let's talk financial goals. To catch you up to speed if you're new here, this has been the year of money and finances for us. We've been incredibly blessed with our income, and because of that we've been able to hit our financial goals a lot quicker, like a lot quicker than I ever have or ever anticipated hitting them. Beginning of this year, our main focus was paying for our US trip, which we did do. We went in April of this year, had an incredible time. One thing I will never regret spending money on is travel. Like, I love it. It's just a really important thing for both Nick and I. And this all comes back to value-based spending and what you enjoy and what you value, and not feeling guilty for spending money on it. Once we came home from that trip, we then knuckled down with paying off our car loan. I think at that point we had just over $18,500 left to pay off from a $30,000 loan. So we'd already paid off quite a decent amount and had made good progress in the year that we'd had it, but we really wanted it just gone. After that, I knew we needed a new money goal to focus on. We've just always had something that we're working towards for our whole adult life, whether it was saving to move out for the first time or paying for our wedding, saving for a house deposit, paying off the car loan. Like, we've always had something, and without that I feel very aimless. Like, I just lack direction, purpose, and then we just consequently spend very frivolously. Also, with the increase of our income, like, it's really easy to fall into that trap of lifestyle creep, and as lucrative as social media is for me right now, I know that might not always be the case, and so I want to be really mindful that we don't shift our lifestyle too much just in case anything changes. And also with us like wanting to start a family in the next year or two, our circumstances are going to change, and so I really want to be mindful of that. So our next financial goal, as I'm sure many of you are aware if you've been keeping up with the budget videos, is to pay off an extra $20,000 of our mortgage by the end of 2024. 20,000 was just like a nice round number. It was challenging without feeling impossible. We are officially halfway through October. I'm expecting another payment to come through in the next couple of days, and with that we will hit that goal, which is crazy. We only have $1,500 left before we hit that goal. So yeah, now I'm like what's next? I need something. To be fair, there's only 2 months left of this year, and I feel like Christmas takes up a majority of that and a majority of our budget, which is why I'm glad we added that house fund. I think that'll be a nice little focus for us. Also really want to increase our emergency fund as well. I talked about this at the beginning of the year when I first went self-employed. I wanted to increase that just for like a little bit of extra peace of mind and stability. Our emergency fund isn't bad. It's like $25,000, which works out to be just over 4 months of our fixed expenses. So it's not bad, but given my income is variable, I do work for myself, I am self-employed, blah, 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 blah. We do also have a mortgage, we have a dog. Like I would like to increase that further. I would like to see that around 6 months worth of expenses, which is about 36,000. So not really a goal for us necessarily, but like something that we're working towards. I guess that is a goal. That is literally the definition of a goal, something you're working towards. Okay, well, I guess that's my goal, increasing our emergency fund to 6 months worth of expenses. The benefit of that as well is we'll be putting in an offset account, so we'll also offset interest on our home loan. So it's almost like paying off extra of our mortgage as well. And if you're wondering how we've calculated our emergency fund or the amount that we need for our emergency fund, I did touch on this in my last money diaries video, so I'll have that link down below. I've also done a whole TikTok and Instagram reel on it as well. We just add our fixed expenses, all of our necessities. So our mortgage we have to pay for, our bills that we have to pay for, groceries, pet essentials, and also petrol. So that works out to be about $6,000 for us. But that will completely differ from person to person, depending on what stage you're at in life. Like I know when we first moved out on our own, the only thing that we had to pay for was rent and bills. And at the time it was pretty cheap. I think our rent was $295 a week plus groceries. So like our emergency fund was a lot smaller than it is now. And I'm sure it will fluctuate as we go through life. So yeah, those are our financial goals. Feeling very good about it. I definitely don't want to stop entirely with paying off our mortgage because that is still really important to us, especially looking at the long-term numbers. I broke it down and our $650,000 home will cost us $1.2 million if interest rates stay the same over the next 30 years, and I am just not happy with that. I don't want to borrow it. I would love to have that paid off a lot sooner than 30 years, that's for sure. So that's still a big focus for us, but it's nice kind of slowing down, especially towards the last couple of months of the year, knowing that we've achieved everything that we set out to do. We're in a really good place financially, and that we can just relax a little bit before we regroup for the new year. I don't know about you guys. I always find myself doing this every single year. I'm like, oh, I've had enough. I've been focused, mom. I am tired. I'm done being motivated. I'm done hitting goals. I just want to be. And that's when I know like it's time to take a step back. You know, I'm still going to work towards those things just a little bit more silently, a little less structured. It's fine. We're good. And then we can regroup for the new year. I'm so excited. I can't believe like 2025 is right around the corner. It's basically Christmas at this point, and then it's the new year, then we're in 2025, then we have a whole new spreadsheet, so many dreams, goals, aspirations. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Anyway, before we wrap up this video, I thought I would touch on sharing finances because this is a big question I get a lot. I can only really speak from my own experience / share some advice, I guess, because I don't think it's for everyone. Nick and I have been together for 7 years almost, and we pretty much combined finances right around when we got engaged. At that point, we knew we were serious. We knew we were gonna get engaged, get married, live happily ever after. So we started with a shared savings account where we put all of our like long-term savings. We both brought, I think we both had $13,000, which is such a random number, but we both felt comfortable putting $13,000 into a shared account, which suddenly turned into $26,000. I felt rich. And then we had our own separate accounts still. So we both got paid into separate accounts. We had separate short-term savings accounts. And then we had this one shared long-term savings for wedding, house deposit. We did that for like 6 months and then eventually got tired of doing the transferring, the back and forth. And we were like 6 months away from getting married. We both felt comfortable combining all of our finances. We already had the same money goals. We were already working on the same stuff together. And so it just made sense to combine everything. A big consideration, I think, is your money values and your money habits. I don't think sharing money is for everyone. It can be such a point of contention for some people in their relationship, and that comes from past traumas, growing up in different backgrounds. I think where you come from is really like the foundation for how you will handle your money. That's not to say it can't be changed. Hi, Moo. It is a big factor, and it is something that can really impact you in your adult life. And so yeah, we were just like really on the same vibe. I really can't explain it. Like I never had any doubts. We had very similar spending habits, very similar savings habits. Like we were just very much on the same page when it came to that. And it's really just like a vibe thing, you know? The vibe can be there, and it still might not make sense for you to combine finances and start sharing. Like you really have to have a lot of trust in the other person, a lot of trust in yourself. At the end of the day, I think you have to be really aligned with your money values, your money goals, your money mindset, how you spend money, how you save money, even just like communication. Like, what are your boundaries with spending money? If someone is about to make a $500 purchase, do you need to check in with the other person, or is that okay? Like, what is that amount for you? And I think if you've been with someone for long enough, like, you kind of get to that point where you already know, but it's not for everyone. It does take out a bit of the spontaneity of surprising. I mean, we're not big surprise people at the best of times anyway, but it definitely makes things logistically a little bit harder. Like, if Nick were to go buy me something, like, I'm probably gonna see it on our bank statement, especially with how much I check it. There are ways around it, like for Christmas and birthdays we just ask each other to not look, or if you really want to surprise someone, you can take like money out. When I used to have an Afterpay account, I would put it on Afterpay, so it just came up as an Afterpay transaction and then pay it off straight away. So there are ways around it. If you've got a good thing going and you're happy with keeping your finances separate, I think stick with it. And if you are thinking about sharing finances and combining them, I think it's just important to have those conversations and have that transparency and communication already in place before you start doing that, because otherwise it can get really messy, and that's when it leads to arguments. If you're already arguing about money before you're combining your money, then like that's probably a sign to not. It's not going to fix your problems, it's only going to lead to further issues. So I will say I love having all of our money together. Not only do I feel richer, I also have the stability, especially with me being self-employed, I have the stability of Nick's income, which just gives me so much more confidence and reassurance. I love that aspect. I also feel a lot more like a team, like we're really working towards the same thing together. I don't feel jealous or resentful when he goes to spend money, and neither does he. Like, he honestly couldn't care less. As long as we're not spending more money than we're making, then we're good. And again, that comes back to us being in a really fortunate position. As long as we're not spending more money than we're making, then we're good. So there's not a lot of financial stress on us right now. Hasn't always been that way, but it's never manifested in a way that puts a strain on our relationship, because we just come together as a team and work through it as a team. But yeah, I love it. It just makes things so much easier as well, logistically. Anyway, I don't know how helpful that was, but if you guys have any specific questions about sharing finances, definitely leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them or touch on them in future videos. And my battery is flashing, it's about to die, so I'm gonna take this as a sign to wrap up this video, stop yapping, and yeah, I will see you guys very soon for another video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you're not already. I love you so much. Bye guys!